just for rhymes, cause we give them more. That's how we roll, knuckled up from that dirty show. So grab your hoe, hit the flow, what you waiting for? Bounce, baby, bounce on that dirty show.
What's going on, everybody? DSUG bonus episode. Bonus cast. It's been a hell of a week or so. You know, we got our mix on in the ring, as you'll find out in a later podcast.
Absolutely. Loved it, enjoyed it. Big shout out to Rampage Pro Wrestling for the hookup.
Yes, but and, you know, in spite of that, we had to have our moment because, you know, music independently is a big part of everything that's going on, and some shit has hit the fan in the last 24 hours involving people that may know Insane Clown Posse and G-Mo Skee, which a lot of people might not have heard of, but as far as I'm concerned, G-Mo Skee body bagged ICP last night.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. You know, it was a very personal, very, intimate diss. The man must actually know more than most for him to put out there what he put out there. It was tough. I would have liked for him to come a little harder, though. You know what I mean? You would think if you're coming up against, the Godfathers of the Juggalo Nation.
I feel like he was holding back. My opinion. I think he's holding off for a later diss if Jay decides to retaliate, which he would be stupid to do.
Well, I mean, but he still got to hold his position. You know what I mean? Jay gonna have to decide whether or not he wants to be, original. If he wants to be aggressive like his music states he is, I think he'd go like a beast at him, not unless he's not what he say he is. I was kind of disappointed in Jay this time, man. You know what I mean? That 6'7", it gets no love from me. It's a total rip-off off the Lil Wayne 6'6", everything.
Right?
You know what I mean? You always talk about being underground and not showing up. What does he do? He shows the fuck out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. G-Mo used an original beat, and it got played 3 times in the hookup radio show over at Magic Ninja last night by popular demand, because the first time it played, everybody went fucking nuts over it. Play it again. So then 10 minutes later, they played it again, and as soon as it was over, play it again. At the end of the show, they played a Triple Threat song, which is a group collab from Twisted and Blaze, and then in the show, they played the G-Mo Skee track again, and then 5 minutes later, the G-Mo Skee track was on YouTube, which I listened. This is like half the reason I didn't sleep last night, because I was sitting there listening to it on repeat. I'm sitting there and I'm listening to it, and every time I hit the button and restart it, the refresh button, this video's done jumped 300-400 views every time I hit the button every 3 minutes, and it's sitting at like 50,000 hits right now, and G-Mo's got 19,000 subscribers on his page.
Right.
So it wasn't in his worst interest to fucking diss Jay, that's to say the least.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this, man. Jay gonna have to respond. Violent Jay has to respond. You know what I mean? Because the man got a lot of juice off of dissing him with some things that it was seen by 50,000 hits and 19,000 subscribers that people in some form or fashion agree with. You know what I'm saying? No matter what might be fabricated or what might be, exaggerated, there must be some type of doubt as to what's really going on with Violent J. I mean, especially after, you think about what happened with Twisted.
I think Jay still lives in a fucking fantasy world from hell, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing Jay could do, if that's his best music.
I mean, that was probably the best verse he's dropped in since 2009.
Then he needs to go ahead and bow out, because he really didn't drop a verse. He just remixed something that was already there, and he's just playing off the ignorance of maybe people who ain't listen to Wayne or ain't heard Wayne in a little while. You know what I mean? But if y'all look up that 6'7" player, it's an exact replica. And that goes back to when Wayne actually still had some good verses, right? Right. I think Wayne got a lot of more. I'm not the biggest Wayne fan in the world. You know what I mean? Everybody cashes in, but in the same breath, Wayne was going through that, that Cash Money, Young Money, Birdman beef, touring in from 50 mil. It's a lot going on back there, so I don't think we heard, the end of Wayne, but, if Violent J is trying to come at G-Mo, what you don't do is you take somebody else's style, you take somebody else's music, you know what I mean, and you even add in words that he uses in the same context and use it as a diss track for somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Even if it ain't a diss track, regardless of how it goes, you know what I mean? You're not throwing Wayne any props for stealing that shit. Wayne on his worst day right now was smash ball.
And he ain't making no money by using a fucking cover beat neither.
Right. on a cover beat. I'm very, very, it's just like being a player.
G-Mo is 40,000 plus on an original beat.
Right.
And ICP is 90,000 on a recycled beat. So who's making the money on that one?
Yeah, this is true, but they're making money on the name. I think the fans and the authenticity. You know what I'm saying? The music eventually, is going to hurt them more than help them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, how can you claim to be so original and be so forward thinking and totally rip off something from a different genre of hip hop and then not give any props to where you got it from?
It's been I don't want to say it's been a sad week or anything, but it's been a very interesting week for music, especially for shit that I follow. It's been very entertaining, to say the least. And I push it off on to Tony because Tony is hand in hand with music. So if I send him something and I need his perspective on it, it's right there. I tried to get Rob involved in this podcast, and he's like, no, I still got to get your relaunch episode up, because I forgot it was Thursday, and this was supposed to be the podcast for the first Thursday, and Rob done fucked it up. It's real bad when we're on top of our shit, Rob's behind on his shit.
Right. But like you said, man, keep it at 100, Jay took one in the ass on this one.
I think he took more than one in the ass.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Jay gonna be walking across the street still snatching dick out his ass.
Right.
Yes, I'm quoting Eddie Griffin on that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Violent J, get off of Wayne's dick, take his dick out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Address the issue at hand, because that was some garbage. I feel somewhat less of a person now.
It was hard. I listened to that shit one time, and I see when they broke Lyte on it, and then he took his hat off, and the red hair was just flying everywhere. I was like, that was a Tech Nine style 20-something years ago. What the fuck is he trying to do?
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, he's overgrown himself. He's outgrown. And he's outgrown and overstepped.
No, we're talking about Lyte. That's Violent J's new signee, his new protege, to say the least.
That's what's crazy, because even in Lil Wayne song, he had to jump in and use the same exact style that Lyte used. You know what I mean? To quit stealing shit. You know what I mean? You gotta listen to the original song of 6 Foot 7 Foot by Lil Wayne.
I've heard it.
And listen to the wordplay, listen to the style play. I mean, Lyte used some original words, but the way I would want to come out sounding immediately like somebody else off of this track. I mean, I know he's just going off of the juice and the loyalty factor that he just got signed. You know what I mean?
I mean, Lyte didn't actually diss anybody, and neither did Shaggy. Shaggy was going in. And it sounded like he was getting diss mode, and then Violent J was like, no, hold on, Shaggy, you got your own album out. And he stopped him, and then his shit was started going on again. I'm like,
well, see, Shaggy was the only person that was coming original, and I was really interested in hearing. And
he was rocking a fucking Chucky shirt. Fucking Chucky. He had the Chucky shirt. It's my shit.
Right. But on the alone, man, you know, Jay just clowned his whole crew.
And that's what G-Mo said.
Right, yeah.
Making moves is just clowning your entire crew and making them look like bitches. So
damn right he did. Damn right he did.
He wasn't ready for that G-Mo response, and several people in the underground have said that over the last 24 hours that, you know, ain't a single person on Psychopathic Records that are ready to go hand in hand with G-Mo on the battle rap. That was clearly true.
Right. You need to stay out of that lane. They're killing these fictitious motherfuckers.
Yeah, they should have stayed.
Maybe you can sign someone to beef with.
Sign somebody to beef with?
Yeah, so you can always win. You know?
I don't know if that could happen, because I feel like if that signs of Tony Steele smacks somebody with a chair, dropping them through a couple tables, Rampage style. See what I did there?
Right, yes. I like that wordplay. I like that wordplay. You know? So,
and if anybody missed, you know, just so we're clear, if anybody missed that final match at Rampage Pro Wrestling this past weekend with Riot City, and I can't remember what the other team's name was.
It was the Coalition?
The Coalition, yes, the Coalition.
The Coalition.
That was probably the most disturbing match I have ever seen. Not just because I was sitting right there, but because, oh my God, that shit looked like it hurt so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't even count the number of tables that we had to move out of the way.
Exactly.
There was so many. So,
absolutely.
June 24th, Rampage Pro Wrestling at the Delaware Agriculture Museum.
Absolutely. And we back in the building.
Exactly what you're hearing Tony saying right now.
Right.
Be there, because some dope shit is bound to happen. It's going to be painful for somebody.
Right. So make sure everybody within the sound of his voice comes out, checks it out. You know what I mean? We'll definitely be in the building. You know, come get in on our pre-show warm-up. You know what I mean? As we always do. But have a good time.
Yeah, and we'll get the PJ Parkers in. We'll get the Riot Cities in. We'll get the Ron Holidays in. We'll get the Vic Ramones in, and so forth and so forth. Right,
we are definitely going to keep that rolling as much as possible. Those of you that are new to Rampage Pro Wrestling, great vibe, great action. Keep on keeping on, you know. Jay, you're doing the damn thing over there. Thanks for letting us be involved in such an amazing movement.
Definitely. I mean, you know, the fans of ours that ain't wasn't necessarily wrestling fans got their one shot this past weekend. After that, we're not. You might see partials of matches, but you won't get whole matches.
Right.
You might get some behind the scenes shit.
One shot, it was there for what it was there.
Yep.
We don't mean any disrespect. We just want to promote what's there. Let you guys know we're finding that's hot, and that opening arms up to other locals is a great cross promotion event that we're looking to take advantage of for Rampage Pro Wrestling. You know?
And I mean, I look forward to finding more entertainment along the way, because apparently I've caught the wrestling bug for what it is. I mean, I'm not ready to travel across the country, but I'm ready to do some local shit for what it is.
Absolutely.
I mean, sliding in that ring Saturday night, man, I can't even describe that feeling. It was just, I don't know.
It definitely left me with a definite bug. And,
me too.
It's everything that the name states. You know what I mean? Everything.
And this is the point where, we're going to talk about, learning some basics so we can get a bit more involved at least.
Yeah, absolutely. So, stay tuned for that on, what it takes to be a Rampage Pro Wrestling.
Or a wrestler in general. General. Tony can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm doing the general, son. I'm saluting the general.
Absolutely. And a salute back to you, sir.
Yes, sir. See, that's all love right there. So until then, this is a quick bonus episode. And, still we're going to talk more about this in the long run. And we got our wrestling podcast going to go up there. Obviously, we shot this past Saturday when we got back, and I had barbed wire on my head and in my neck. And Tony was waiting for me to bleed.
Yes, really thought that was
But it never happened.
It never did. But I thought by mistake or purposefully we were going to have, a Crimson Tide. It didn't go down that way.
Possibly next time.
Maybe next time.
I'll bring extra clothes so I can get hit by the barbed wire kendo stick.
He wanted to take that hit. I'm like, you've lost your damn mind.
I still want to take that hit. I have issues.
Yes, you do.
That was a good Korn album.
Yes, sir. And even though this almost sickens me, Violent J just suck. That song absolutely sucked. Nothing original about it.
Fuck a Violent J.
Yeah, man. Get your shit together. You got a brand to represent.
I don't know about that. I think like 90% of people dropped the Hatchet the second Twisted left. I mean, I remember the second Twisted got their own, they left the Hatchet, and I instantly texted Eric, and I was like, yo, does that mean we ain't gotta be juggalos no more? We just twisted bands down?
Well, I mean, I consider myself a fan of music as well as a performer, and for one rapper to another, man, what you just did was career suicide.
You don't try to bust off against somebody that's legit lives on battle rap, so
exactly.
And like G-Mo said, you busted off on Eminem back in the day and you got 8, and then you busted off on Tech 9 a couple months ago, you got 8. Now who's going to eat you next, which was actually G-Mo, but he didn't say himself.
Right, but it's like you said, I mean, he's getting a little bit more promotion because people are, keeping him relevant.
Yep. Well, I mean, he was staying relevant anyway, but this really
hurt him because
it hurt Jay more than anything, and it boosted G-Mo. And I seen several people, people that were originals of the Underground, and were pioneers of. I guess I don't want to say opening acts because these are guys that we've done shows with. Me and Eric that are real dope people. They're like, man, he's been around. What the fuck are you talking about? They didn't want to say anything because they were still kind of cool with Psychopathic. And then you delved through the comments and everything, and they're like, I'm cool with Psychopathic and Magic Ninja, but that motherfucker got body bagged. I don't know what the fuck to tell you after that. He got body bagged. He should not have opened his fucking mouth.
No.
He should have never put that personal shit out there. The second that line hit, when they said Young Wicked the niece fucker, and we talked about this in a podcast that people ain't gonna hear till after this one because we're gonna put this one out next week.
Right.
But if you jump 2 weeks ahead and then come back to this one, you'll know exactly what we're talking about because we talked about this shit with Young Wicked and Violent J and his niece hooking up with Young Wicked and all that bullshit and Boss Code, and we got that song dropping on that shit. Guess.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Just when you think you realize you don't know. And Jay, God damn, Violent J, what are you thinking, man? I mean, you better hope Wayne don't decide to dust your ass off next. But of course, that would probably be good for you.
Man, watching him try to pull those Michael Jackson moves made me feel like Michael Jackson was ready to come back from the grave and show him how to do shit.
Yeah, hey, I tell you what, somebody needs to tell him how to do something because rapping ain't it. It make me wonder if people ain't been writing for him in the past. That was some weak shit.
He used to write for other people. That's the sad thing. Because he wouldn't let nobody do their own shit. That's one reason Twisted left.
Right. Because he wanted to be the big dog. He tried to be Puff Daddy.
Right.
But the thing is like, can't be out front. And then micromanage everybody else. You better think about your own career, your own spot. Would Jay-Z say watch the throne? Because the kingdom is ripe for regime change over there.
And that sounds like some fucking Walking Dead shit right there.
Right, he done lit the fuse to the dynamite to set it off and forgot to put it where it was supposed to be. He's getting ready to blow it right in their own face. These youngins, like you said, like everybody will hear when they go over the what we talked about with Young Wicked, and they have to realize that these dudes ain't doing nothing but these are the dudes that they raised up, that Shaggy and Violent J raised, pretty much music
and we still got these interviews coming. That's the funny thing. We ain't even done them yet.
Right.
I've been holding off on doing them, but after this recent diss session, I'm like, I need G-Mo as soon as this tour's over, right? And then after that, we got 1 month for this tour to go, and by the end of June, we got the Young Wicked album coming out. I think we need to do an interview with him. I think we would have some great shit going with Young Wicked.
Right. They need to go down. You know, these dudes need to be heard and say they piece for real. Because the truth of the matter is that whole situation over Young Wicked is fucking retarded. You know what I mean? He pretty much did what you said you've been doing from day one. You still on the album. You was on that whack ass record, Father J, talking about your mom, your grandma, was you a sex addict. You a sex addict, but you mad that somebody fucked a girl that grew up in your house.
He said he was a sex addict, and he was fucking the daughter, the mother, and the grandmother, but they still have a pedophile on their fucking label. How the fuck does that work?
Man, I don't know. It don't work.
They dismissed like 4 months ago that they were firing him because people found out he was a pedophile, but he's still there with his face blurred out in the recent video that came out yesterday. How the fuck?
See, man, because look, here's the truth. This is why in hip-hop, you know what I mean? We don't talk shit that we ain't done. Because now if you catch your feelings over some shit you say, you live by. I
ain't never fucked a pedophile.
Hell no.
Or fucked somebody under 18 to make any difference.
Right. You see, but that's the whole point. You know what I mean? You got all that shit you talk, now you upset at Young Wicked because he got some ass. His knees gave us some ass.
But like you said on the podcast, people are going to hear in recent time. That's Jay and Jump Steady's fault.
Right, they built it.
They brung her up in that. So
this whole new generation was inspired off of what they did, and they want to grow up like some bitches.
Yeah.
I mean, and the only reason why it's a bitch move is because he said, yes, that he's with the shit that now that he's mad about.
I think the only reason Jay's mad at that point is because he feels Young Wicked might pull that what was the dude that was married to Britney Spears and walked off with half her shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
They got married, they had a couple kids, and he walked off and he got the good end of the deal.
What was his name?
K-Fab or something like that? K-Fed?
K-Faggot, whatever his name.
Something like that. One of those. It's a K something, but it ain't K Diddy.
Hell no. And it ain't okay.
But he cashed that check and signed it. I can't blame him for that shit.
Right.
I would have done the same shit.
Right. I mean, shoot, man, all the boy did was get some hope.
Damn right.
All Father J did was give him some hope. Like, she was probably raised underneath of him like she's supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Jay was apparently getting the hole, but he was, saying, hey, you signed this contract, you give me some hole. And apparently the girl, was wearing the same undies for 10 shows in a row or whatnot, from what I heard. And then some, blah, 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 blah. And then he tried to talk shit on Whitney Payton. Whitney Payton would ether him, and Whitney Payton is the shit, and she's a homie from Philly, so...
Man, you gotta keep your eye on the ball, man.
Don't fuck with people that can rap better than you, is what I'm saying. If you know somebody can throw a verse for verse, don't even... Never should have went after MNE when they knew they had a whole label of people that could spit. Was stupid. Should have never mentioned Whitney Payton or Snow the Product, because both of those girls can spit. Neither one of them are with Magic Ninja, but both of them can spit. I had a conversation with both of them. No, don't do it. You're stupid. Now you're just trying to be relevant to spit on anybody that's got any kind of name at this point.
Right. It's pathetic.
Which turns around to us using you to bring us up a little bit more, and that's fine too. You can be a dumbass, and we're gonna spit our news and bring our shit along the lines and do this podcast at 12 o'clock at night.
Yes, sir. Boy, you need some toilet paper. That last joint with some ass.
Ron J might get hit with some chairs.
Yeah, that was ass music right there.
He should have just kept the shot. I wouldn't have said a thing.
Yeah, you either touch on it lightly and keep it moving so you don't give them too much, or you don't mention it at all.
Keep it under the radar or go over the top like G-Mo did. Not somewhere in the middle where you turn around and then you get fucked by G-Mo.
Right, you can't afford to hold back when you got these young, hungry thundercats.
Damn
you
right.
You know what I'm saying? Coming for what you got. You got to destroy everything. You know, you got to lay it all to waste. No matter how it is you decide to come at it, you got to be competitive as soon as you get on that mic. And he's been backtracked so many times over what he says his juggalo belief, and he's been going totally suburban with that whole wicked move. You know what I mean? That's suburban shit. That's not even his daughter. You see what I'm saying? I can't even put parenthood in the middle of that. And for real, he opened the door for that, and he probably trying to convince his brother, if that's his niece, that it ain't his fault. But it's all your fault. Like Chance Young, it's your fault.
Oh, man. But shout out to Chance Young's, man. I hope his surgery went well today.
Damn right.
God damn it, we love him, and, you know, we have our fun with him, but, you know, he's our boy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We joke around, it's part of the fun.
Nothing less. If I was Jay, man, see, I can't co-sign none of that shit you said. None of it was original. I even started losing what you said because it sounded too much like a whack-ass Wayne. You made Wayne look bad. You come on somebody else's track, man, you're supposed to murder the track.
Hey, I had to listen to it about 3 times before I realized he wasn't trying to mumble rap.
He might as well. Even the mumble rap sounds better than that.
I knew it. I'd
rather listen to 3 hours of
Bro, we should do that album.
Huh?
We should do that album. Although I'd be really pissed if we got really famous off the blah, 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 blah.
Thompson already did that, man.
He did, but he was already famous, but fuck. I feel like if everybody could do it now, can't we do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't we jump in Rampage next month? Motherfucker and go blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but you know, I don't even feel, you know, Jay, you just hurt me. My dick hurts, man. It hurts.
I don't know. According to G-Mo shit, Jay's dick should hurt and then some.
Jay is riddled with bullet holes right now.
Because apparently Jay is using contracts to get bitches to sleep with him. Which didn't work out with Whitney Payton or Snow the Product. Not shockingly, because both of them are dope artists that have their own tours on their own selves.
Right.
But I think this is going to be this for this bonus episode at the moment.
Yep.
I mean, you got anything else you want to say, Tony?
Man, get your motherfucking weight up, Jay.
Oh, damn it. Put my arms back down.
Get your weight up, man. You know what I mean?
I heard get your weight up. I was like, we going to the Denton Gym?
Sheesh.
Black Ops on the Denton Gym. Waiting for it to happen.
You know, we're going to be setting some things up for Black Ops. Trying to cross some T's and dot some I's. We got some Baltimore things coming up. We got some bodybuilding shows we're going to be attending. You know, make our presence felt there.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, definitely a shout out to 97.5. Good old Salisbury, Maryland on the shore. You know, we defining it, old school, taking it back.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, make sure you like, subscribe, listen, join in on the convo.
Where can they find us at, Tony?
They can find us Dirty Shore Underground on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram now, and Twitter, correct?
Yes.
DSUG, baby.
What about Iron Army?
You can find Iron Army also on YouTube, on Facebook. You know what I mean? And you can find Boss Code on Facebook the same way. You know what I mean? Spelled the way it sounds.
Hey, and when we gonna have Boss Code on the DSUG?
Hey, hopefully soon. Hopefully very, 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 very soon.
And old school Beat Riders. We still working on that?
We're still working on that. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
You know, Jonathan is a big part of that. He's a heart and soul. And he's a very busy man. You check out Jonathan Moloch's page. He's on the Metallica tour. Right?
Me and Tony post all his shit, so even if he's just a cool call-in and the rest of us are sitting here, if we only get John for like 2 minutes, would love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Phone calls are accepted.
So until... I don't want to say a date because, you know, the next wrestling show is June 24th. Me and Tony still got 3 or 4 episodes in the can for the podcast. So, I mean, we might get together before then to record more, but you never know. It might be right before the June 24th show because the VCA is running wild.
Right.
Bless the blood.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's the shore, baby, the shore. We Del Marvelous down here.
Yes. That's the first time I heard Del Marvelous. That's
I
why
coined that phrase.
that might need to be on the back of the DSUG shirts. We need to hit Rob up before he sends those shirts to us. Del
You're
Marvelous.
absolutely right.
Hashtag.
I'm aware.
Uh-oh. Hi, Tosh.
Yep. Well, you know what that means.
That means we're all going to bed.
Yes, it is. I have been summoned.
All right, brother. I thank you for joining me for this, what was supposed to be a real quick episode, but I think we took an hour on it, so that's what happens.
Absolutely. That's how it goes down, man.
If I don't see you before the 24th for a set of podcasts, we'll make it happen that night for a couple.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't see me around here, you'll see me around here.
Yeah. We're ready to get in that ring again.
That's right. Looking forward to it, brother. We're going to get it in. We're going to find out what it takes to be a pro wrestler from Rampage Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
We got a great assorted list. A lot of people that have a great interest and have committed to showing us a few things, and we'll share it with our fan base.
Hell yeah. So for the DSUG, this is K Diddy and Tone Steele.
You know it.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.